So we're looking at 2036, the making of a sporting nation. Obviously, the peg would be India's bid for the Olympics. You know, it's a massive bid. There are many layers to tackle, many nuances to be dealt with. I just want the government perspective first. So, how do you think this is evolving?
I would start with our Viksit Bharat goal, which has been given by Honorable Prime Minister, is to finish top 10 by 2036 and to finish top 5 by 2047, 2048 Olympics basically. That way I would say most of you must have watched the Paris Olympic and the position we were, or before that Tokyo Olympic, the position we were. So it's a great, I would say, challenge to Indian sports ecosystem, especially for the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sport, to develop the ecosystem wherein when we are planning to host, we should also be able to be standing tall at the podium. It can't be only hosting, but it is also coupled with the podium finishes. That way, you must have seen in the recent years, particularly from the last year, after Paris Olympics, we have brought in Khelo Bharat Niti, which is holistically addressing the entire components of sports. After that, we brought National Sports Governance Act, which is going to bring a sea change in which our sports federations are governed, in the way our sports persons are represented, the way their business is conducted. And in this year, budget speech, you must have heard the launch of Khelo India Mission. The mission is going to galvanize the way the government funds the sporting ecosystem and the way the federations are made accountable. So, coming to the core theme of 36, we are gearing up and addressing all aspects in a very holistic 360-degree approach manner to galvanize our sports ecosystem, to ensure our sports person excel, and to also ensure India become a sporting nation.
Ashwini, over to you. I mean, you've been an athlete, right? And in fact, one of our first tweets today was about a massive record of yours, 200-meter record at the state level being broken. Of course, there's a Kurgi bias there. The girl who broke it is a Kurgi girl. It's about 20-year-old record?
It's a 36-year-old
36-year-old record, yes. It was broken today. So speak about the infrastructure then when you were an athlete, right, to what it is now. I mean, do you see progress?
In terms of infrastructure, I think across the country you see a number of high-quality infrastructures in terms of AstroTurf, synthetic tracks, but it's not correlating to the number of athletes that's playing on the field. In our times, of course, the Kantriva Stadium used to be a velodrome, come a cinder track. The sports hostels were right over there. The football ground was there. So it was a great environment for all disciplines to come there, merge and train together. The warm-ups happen together, the cool-down happens. And then you see stars of India also coming there and training, because that was also a training center for the Sai athlete. It's grown enormously. There's much to be done at the base level, while we focus entirely on the cream and maybe the B group. I think C and D centers will also have to be developed. And having said that, I think it is not the responsibility only of the central government to build infrastructure or build programs. It is the responsibility of all stakeholders and the state governments across the country to ensure that the vision is the same for the entire nation. And I think that is important, because as Mr. Kunal just said, that building ecosystems is important. It's very, very important. It has to trickle down to the district level in every state. Otherwise, it really doesn't take off where it should. And I think that is important. Sports is still a state subject, and until it comes to the concurrent list, I think that's been something, a long waiting thing to happen, so that everybody comes under the same umbrella.
So India has hosted the Asian Games, the Commonwealth Games in the past, SAF Games in the past, right? And what you see is you build infrastructure and they kind of become white elephants, right? Sometimes you go to the Kantirava Stadium, you have a home loan mela being done, right? Or a cottage industries emporium show being done. So how do you tackle this? You build infrastructure, you scale up, and then you end up seeing that it's not being used optimally. It's a question for all three of you.
So, good afternoon, everyone. I feel we need to change our vision first. I believe in having a multi-venue Olympics, and whatever infrastructure we make, we should be focusing on the tradition, culture of that particular region. If you build a good archery center in Goa, will it be in full use? Of course not, because that's not a trend of that region. If you give them a good football ground, that will be in 100% use. So we have to have that vision towards it. So coming into top 5, it's a very ambitious project right now because we are still into single digit if you speak about the Olympics. I feel when we talk about Olympics, it shouldn't be about the podium finishes. We should be looking forward for a sustainable, good ecosystem, which will help our future generation. So my one question to you, sir, we have to still transform our population into sports enthusiasts, and we are just limited to, cricket enthusiasts. And to have that transformation, what measures we are taking? We often say that we have to tap or nurture talent from the school level. So my one question is, every school in India has playground? No. How many skilled physical education teachers are recruited in school? What vision we are giving to our children? When parents come to me and I ask them to pursue shooting professionally, they ask me one question: is there a future in shooting? Is there a money in sport? Answer is yes, but unfortunately it is limited to only top 5 or 10 athletes. Athletes who spend equal time of hard work, dedication, and come 4th or 5th. What are we doing for those athletes? Those are very important athletes because they compete so our champions could, top in their ranking. So what are we doing for them? Nothing. So how can we expect to have a sport as a priority in our country? So we have to start our work from this grassroots level, and then we can, dream of having this ambitious project.
I just want to talk about this much abused term, demographic dividend. So we say that India is the most populous country in the world, so then we expect the medals to be proportionate to that. But if you look at the history of India and Olympics, it's just 41 medals. Okay, there's been a spike in the last 2 editions, but 41 medals over so many years, decades, is a sad state of affairs. I mean, do you see it changing over the coming years? Do you see, progress on that front? Sir?
I'm going to start. I would just request the audience one aspect. My native place is Bihar. Just travel through the villages of Bihar and we'll see the change which is taking place as far as sports are concerned. Every village is going to have or is already having a playground. Then they are going to fund sporting club in the villages. Why I'm telling you, same demographic dividend. All these populous states and the developed state, everyone is right now putting money in sports, addressing again, I'm saying, in their own way, ecosystem. And then coming back to the original question, what's about building infra and how to use it? See, today, the sports infra are 2 types. One for training purpose, another for event purpose. So let us not mix up both, because if suppose we are having a big stadium here, so sitting area can't be used on every day. Only when big events are there, only then it will be filled up, whether it is a cricket stadium, whether it is football stadium, whether it is a athletic stadium. When you see Neeraj Chopra having his own league here in Bangalore, At that time, all the tickets were full from all parts of the country because people wanted to see Neeraj Chopra throwing javelin in Bangalore. So that time the stadium was obviously full to the capacity. So second aspect is building the training ground. That's where we are. If you see our Khelo India mission is very soon going to be in public domain. The planning which is done. I can tell you only few things like Kodagu, from where Madam comes from. How many of you know that Kodagu, there are so many hockey players that there are certain family who support hockey there. So we are going to see each sports from the birthplace effect, from where the talents are coming, and how to address not only infra gap, but soft aspect like coaches, trainers, sports science, materials. So holistically, we are going to address through birthplace effect all our priority sports. Let me tell you, only 18 sports are having more than 80% of medal in Olympics. If we are able to target, unfortunately, if you see swimming, maximum medals, how many, what is the participation from India? So that's athletics maximum, what is the participation? Cycling. So these all disciplines we are targeting. We are looking at the place where talents are coming and addressing both way, but primarily building the infra to train. Not to make white elephant, but to train, which can have sustainable use, not only for our elite athletes, but also for the grassroots athlete, for the young students. I hope this answers the question.
Ashwini?
Well, I agree with him. Recently, the minister was there to inaugurate the family hockey tournament where 360 families play hockey. Probably the smallest district that actually encourages so much of hockey. But we just, I think in the last many, many decades, my foundation is the only third AstroTurf, which I privately did it.
So to interrupt, Ashwini's got a lovely academy in Gonikopa, Karumbaya Academy. It's a gorgeous property. If you drive to Virajpet, you should check it out.
Thank you so much. So it's a struggle, sir, since you're here representing the government, whether it's the state or the center. It's an effort for an Olympian like me to also try and get an infrastructure to just promote sport. So I can imagine what happens to the rest of them. Yes, they supported me for the synthetic track, and I'm very grateful for that. But I just would like to know, I have a 30-year tie-up with SAI. Till today, not one person has come. The agreement says we will send you 20 athletes. We are in a very small town. You know, I live near the foundation is near the Kaikeri village, Taluk, in the panchayat there. No athlete wants to come there. Whether it's the Khelo India athletes, because I'm a Khelo India Academy, just for example. Now, if I call an athlete and say, you can come into my academy and train, we provide housing and all that, coaches, we have that. They're not willing to because they want to be in a city or in an environment and they don't know these places. I have many times requested that we need to review the Khelo India system. While it is a very good system, whether it's the university or the Khelo India sport, school game, it's very good that we have these levels and the structures that are in place now, which was never there. It's a challenge. It's a challenge. So I think it's important if we really want to build that ecosystem and have more number of academies being reviewed for what you are giving and what the result is. It has to be result oriented. I mean, we are not looking at, it's not just a CSR activity. You're looking at 2036 or the next Olympics. So I think those are not small things. Some of the major things that you need to do is to evaluate and handhold many academies that are not fortunate to have this, but they're doing extremely, extremely good work.
Other thing about Indian sport is, the scourge of doping, right? In the World Index, we kind of notoriously top that list in terms of doping violations per year. And it's been happening for decades. I mean, how do you see this issue being solved? I also realize it's a sociological issue, like a poor child who wants employment in the railways or a public sector bank or a corporate, probably is trying too hard to win a race, and probably there's a temptation, to stick a syringe in, or at the highest level, maybe you want to become an Olympian and you just somehow want to qualify, and you qualify and then you don't get those timings ever again, right? Is there a solution to this? Ashwini, will you go first?
Just last evening, NADA had a session. The Senior Athletic Championship was being held in Kantirua. And it'd be interesting to see how many athletes really signed up to listen to NADA.
Okay.
I'm sorry to say that, but I'm just saying it'll be interesting to see. Doping in India has been rampant. And it is one of the main reasons in 2010 where we launched the Clean Sports India movement by 10 Olympians, if you remember, during the CWG Games. It's not been talked about. It's not been addressed. It's always the athletes at fault.
Yeah.
It's not the support system that's at fault. Now, if NADA gives me 3,000 drugs which are banned substances, now I don't know most of those drugs, all right? Some of them are openly available in the market. So most of the athletes that get caught, surprisingly, in athletics, are the road runners. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Because there's so much of money involved in it. So we need to address this issue. For me, I think, somebody was saying we should have an Olympic Games open for drug use. So make it an equal level playing field, and we'll see what happens.
It's like they say 2D Francis, everyone is on it.
Everybody is on it, so you legalize it. Like most often we say legalize corruption, you see? We say legalize doping, because whether it's chess players, whether it is, gymnasts, across board, you have this. I don't think merely bringing a law, punishing athletes is the answer to it. I think the support system and the federations should also take charge of this, because it is very rampant, and I think WADA has a rule where you'll be surprised to know where more than 300 athletes have voluntarily admitted to having drugs by mistake, and they have said sorry, so their suspension term is 1 year as against the 4-year if you get caught.
Yeah.
So the whole system is rotten in a way. So, I'll take a drug and I'll run tomorrow and say, I'm sorry, I didn't know about it, so you get 1 year suspension, you can come back to it. So and also the lobby that happens worldwide in WADA. Even when Ben Johnson got caught, we were all there watching the run. It was Canada versus US lobby. So, it goes deep down. It's not just what happens in India.
Yes. Anjali?
I feel so fortunate shooting doesn't happen like this. But we always discuss about this subject during our meetings of TOPS and TAGS committees. I do agree with Ashwini that few of the coaches, some government members, athletes are responsible for that. And sadly, many incidences happened during camps, which were organized by SAI. So we need to be a little strict. Punishments are required.
Yeah.
We need to punish athletes as well as coaches and organizers. We have to be very strict for that, and athletics associations, the way they promised us, they have some plan to follow for the coming Asian Games.
Yeah.
So we are hoping that we don't get any more cases.
Just to butt in here, Vijay, I've been part of the federation in the state, which now I've given up all these responsibilities. When we used to have even the under 16, under 18 championship, on the final day, just requested NADA to give me 10 samples for testing. I will pay it personally. But I just want 2 officials to be there on the final day, and we had given them a couple of lists. Because all of you all report syringes on all grounds across India in the junior level sport. Now, junior athletes don't know which is the banned substance, so who's giving it to them?
True.
School kids, who's giving it to them? There's somebody administrating this, right? Right on the field. And to my surprise, the 100 and 200 meters, the people on the list never ran the finals. Under 16 and under 18.
Okay.
That's how rampant it is in our, junior circuit itself. So it's alarming. It's alarming.
In fact, I share the concern, and obviously having doping with doping games is not a feasible idea, because Olympism and sports, they represent the best of the human beings, humanity. And obviously the purity of the games have to maintain, and that's why anti-doping activities are required. And let me tell you that government is very much alive to the situation. And you must have heard that in addition to the National Sports Governance Act, anti-doping bill was also passed. Now it has become an act, and the implementation is under the force. Parallelly, this year, 2 months back, WADA people were here and we had extensive dialogue with them. They were also showing the concern. And government has come up. If you look at our website, now we are going to criminalize doping, not the players, but the ecosystem, which is supporting doping. So let me assure you that there will be salutary effect on the people who are supplying, who are the middlemen, who are motivating the players to take medicines or drugs for enhancement. And parallelly, I would like to inform that NADA has come up with the Know My Medicine app. So very well you can check whether your medicine is doping free or not. Second, we have funded 2 laboratories in the country to certify doping free food or supplement. So these are the positive steps which government is taking in addition to regular testing as well as educational activity. And even we are requesting the NCRT to make anti-doping a part of the sports curriculum, because for sometimes, students, young students or athletes, they may feel that their performance is enhanced, but it is having a lasting negative impact on their health, which is, you can't measure it only when its symptoms manifest, people get to know the consequences of doping, that way at the young age. So we are addressing it through educational program, but also we are going to criminalize the ecosystem which is supporting the doping, and you will see the result in coming days. We are expecting it to be tabled in the coming parliamentary session. Government is serious about it. Let me
That's good. That's good. But why people are hearing more about dopers in India is because NADA is testing more number of samples today. Earlier they were not testing. So, federations and everybody was involved hand in glove in it. So today testing is happening, and we have to recognize that fact that most number of athletes are being tested regularly. And that's why you hear so many number of athletes being suspended for a certain amount of time, depending on what they've taken.
Ashwini, this to you. I mean, in your peak, you're an athlete. You spoke your mind. You had an original voice. You're an actress, right?
Small time.
But do you ever regret that at that point you didn't have social media? Because right now, if an athlete has a grievance, they can take to social media, they can take to X, they can take to Instagram stories or whatever. They can post their grievance. But that's something probably which both you and Anjali missed out in your peak. I mean, do you regret that? Or
I don't miss it at all. I didn't miss it at all.
Yeah.
I think we had a great life without social media. We had great friends, we bonded well with different... Today everybody is leaving even in the camps, everybody has their cliques. We were a big gang of athletes going for the games together, having fun together, performing together. So I didn't miss it at all. I don't think now just for that 36-year-old record to be broken of mine. I wish people had young athletes had broken it much earlier. Records are meant to be broken.
True.
And then you feel happy, at least somebody is emerging. Not 36 years later when we didn't have a running shoes, we were struggling to get our spikes, we were running on. There was only one synthetic track in Patiala. True. Before the Asian Games came up. And then we had the Sai Center. I think we were in the first batch of Sai Center. So I'm happy. The journey has been good. It's been hard. It's made me tough. Without all these distractions.
True. Anjali?
Personally, I don't regret that we did not have a social media in our days, but if we speak about
But do you think it's kind of
sports
democratized in
perspective.
terms of an athlete has there is an issue and there's a platform?
Correct. There's a platform right now.
Yeah.
That is where I am coming.
Yeah.
See, I was a star in my days. People who knew shooting appreciated my performances, my achievements. But now, a single small state level achievement reaches to the common man.
Yes.
So our sport got promoted a lot. It has reached to the very very small level, to the villages, to the rural areas. And now if you see in every school and colleges, they have shooting ranges, and every competition which happens at the state and domestic level, it reaches to the whole India. And then we come to know about our talent so fast. I know a person practicing in Bihar is improving so fast. I can tap him. I can tap that talent. So you have both advantages and disadvantages. The only thing, we have to restrict the use of mobile and social media to our at least top athletes.
Okay.
So what Gopi used to do, he used to take away the phone 6 months before any major tournament. So that restrictions we have to keep in some Sai camps or camps organized by federation to keep up the athletes' focus and keep them away from unwanted thoughts, extraordinary thoughts in their mind, and be focused on their training.
Like we're talking 10 years from now, 2036, but as athletes, as former champions, what is the one thing you want to change in Indian sport? I mean, you wish it changes overnight.
I feel people are now finding shortcuts.
Okay.
If you see, after every 1.5 months, the ranking is changing. They stay for a very shorter time at that stage because they have jumped to that position. The base work is very, less. In our days, we did not have ammunition and weapons with us. So we used to do a lot of holding practice, a lot of groundwork, a lot of fitness. Now I see a 15-year or 18-year-old athletes having a lot of injuries. They first start sport and then they see the requirement and then accordingly they start the sport-specific fitness, which is very wrong. We were very fit due to our all other activities, and for that fitness, then we joined a particular discipline.
Yeah.
So to avoid this injury, I would like to have good fitness regime or tradition at school level. Make our future generation very fit. Adapt any sport and having less injury because they are losing out on time. We have many good shooters who are shooting so well, but they had to take break in between. And if that consistency is not there, it's very difficult for your mindset to be in that league again. Even if you have a same talent, when you come back to the same fitness, you are giving same score, but at the last minute to finish on that top, you need to have that mindset ready to be there. So if you have such breaks in between your high performance training, then it becomes very difficult for our top shooters, at least. I'm in the shooting per se, I say. So fitness is the basic requirement to be there. And secondly, we have so much of funding through tops and tags to for the athletes. But few athletes are taking undue advantage of it. And taking undue advantage, it's giving negative impact on their improvement. If we are funding unnecessary, don't go abroad. You have everything ready in your country. You have infrastructure, you have good coaches, you have all sports, medicine, science support over here. Just for the sake of going abroad, they go abroad, and then there's no teamwork happening few times. So that awareness or education we need to give to our young athletes through federation or through some government organizations.
Ashwini, your thoughts?
Well, since I run an education institution as well as a sports foundation, what I've noticed is, I'm a product of a school games, which I have told many a times. We didn't have buses then. So all the schools of Bangalore city would come walking towards Kantireva Stadium, and we had a large audience to just watch us run. Besides schools, the 7th, 8th, 9th graders would come as cheerleaders with principal, with teachers. Today when you see, it's a sad state of affairs. First of all, you have to beg them to send a team, institutions, and also to see parents and children and athletes. Nobody wants to work hard. Everybody wants immediate success. And sports doesn't give you immediate success. It takes 5 to 7 years of training at a young age to be able to see some success at the national level. And they don't have that patience. Today, most athletes, even to start off, want the best kitting before they even enter the field. So I think a lot needs to be changed in terms of mindset of parents, because there is so much money involved, whether it is an under-14 cricket team or whether it is a Khelo India athlete. There is money there available. It doesn't come easy. And I think that's something, the journey of an athlete is a long journey, it's a tough journey, whether parents want to invest. Now, I have about 900 students in my school, and out of that, my academy has across 3 sports about 85 students across hockey, athletics, and shooting. And after, the biggest concern, correct me if I'm wrong, Anjali, since you work with school kids too, by the time they come to 10th, everybody wants to stop sports.
True.
Everybody wants to stop sports. I give free education, I give incentive, performance, whatever it is. By the time they finish 10th, I have till 12th. They want to go into the city, and I've lost out a lot of athletes. So I think the responsibility is not just on governments, it's on changing mindset. You've got to invest in your child till degree, because till degree you can take a chance for your child.
True.
And I think that mindset needs to change for parents to give it that shot if the child is interested. And I think that's something I'd love to see.
Yeah. So from the government side, what is your first priority in terms of sport?
In fact, like I agree with both the legends, and fitness is one aspect. Like our honorable PM says, fitness ka dose aadha ghanta roz. Now there are so many apps are available where you can monitor your walks, number of steps you are taking, number of steps you are climbing. So fitness is one thing. When we have to popularize sports, we have to make India a sporting nation. The first thing we have to do is fitness, not only among the school kids, but also among the adults, among the senior citizen. That is one. Second is making athletes the focal point of entire sporting ecosystem. Our act is going to address it through making athlete commission mandatory in every federation. Today it doesn't exist in most of the bodies. Now it is going to be mandatory for every federation to make an athlete commission. And out of 15 executive committee members, there are going to be 4 sports person, 2 sports person of outstanding merit, and 2 members who are current athletes. And not only that, there has to be gender balancing as well. There has to be minimum 4 female women members in the executive committee. So that way, our sporting leadership, the administration is going to be much more athlete-centric, much more gender-neutral, much more focusing on the priorities where it is required.
Thank you, sir.
I feel for this, having universities in each and every state is a necessity. So many projects of universities are only on the papers now, or except one, two sports universities. All other universities are on the document itself. If we have good universities in each and every state, they will produce good experts. Experts in fitness, physiotherapy, sports science, medicine, management, everything. And we have experts, more experts available in our society. Our athletes will have access to them. There will be a balance between athletes and available experts, so they will not misguided. So I think we should be focusing on having good universities which will produce experts